Good evening, all. Dear participants, am I audible? Is my screen properly visible? Have you guys completed the assignment? First assignment. I hope many of the guys have submitted it in LinkedIn or else in Facebook. So today will be the last date for that submission. Okay, so good evening all. So today is day 7 of this Python class in this virtual internship. So I welcome you all on behalf of Pantech e-learning. So what all topics we have seen till now? Yes, you can submit it today. The assignments you can submit today also. So for this time alone, I'll extend it. So by today you can submit it, and by tomorrow we'll be giving you one link where you have to, like, you would have posted it either in Facebook or LinkedIn, right? So make sure you have posted it, and you can copy that link, and that, like, we'll be giving some form where you have to update that link along with your details, okay? So that it will be a record. So it will be helping us to consolidate whether you have completed or not. So it's mandatory and it's the process for tomorrow's class. So please make sure you complete the assignment. Okay. So many of the guys have submitted. I was reviewing them. Very good. And please make sure everyone try to submit it. So it's mandatory either in Facebook or LinkedIn. So let's brush up a little bit what all things we have seen till last class. So in last class, what all things we have seen? We have seen about functions, right? We have seen about functions, what all things present there, and then about lambda functions. And today we'll be seeing some assignments, okay, some exercises with the help of functions, okay. We'll be seeing some exercise with functions. So one will be a ATM machine and another one will be a calculator code. So both are the things we will try to complete it with the help of functions. And once we complete that, we'll move into today's theory part where we will be seeing about exception handling, which is an important topic when you build like robust applications. Without, if you want to run it smoothly without getting error, then you can use this exception handling. And also we'll be seeing about file handling, which is how to open a text or any other file in your Python IDE, how to work with it and how to save it or rewrite it. All those concepts will come under file handling, and we'll be seeing that also in today's session. And regarding the assignment, please make sure you try to complete it. So today will be the last day for submitting the assignment, and in next class we'll be giving you a form where you have to give the link of your assignment along with your details. And in tomorrow's class I'll explain you with the assignment, okay. So many of you guys have tried on your own, and I can find some similar codes also. Please try to do it on your own. I'll explain you in tomorrow's session about the the assignment in detail. And can we start the class with one exercise, which is preparing a ATM machine with Python code, okay. Can we start? Please interact in chat box. Can we start, dear participants? So I'll tell you what all things we are going to add in this ATM, okay. So we'll be having a balance. So initially we'll be having a balance, and this balance will be key for everything, okay. And we'll be asking, we'll be storing some username and password as random, okay, and I'll be asking the user to enter his details. So if the credentials are correct, so can you guys tell me how we are going to check whether if I'm asking a user his user ID and password, I want to allow the user only if both are correct. So in conditional statement, which operator I will be using? Can you guys tell? I'll tell you once again. We are going to set some username and password, and I want to verify whether both are correct. So if both are correct only, then I'm going to allow the user to enter into the ATM machine. I want to verify two conditions in a single conditional statement, and which operator I'll be using. Yes, correct, and operator, right? So you want to use AND operator so that it can check whether both the conditions are correct. So if both are true, then only the conditional statement will produce a true statement. Then the conditional statement can go into the body of conditional statement. And inside of it, you can do it manually, but we are going to use the functions so that we can be clear with that concept also. We have seen about it yesterday, right? I hope you guys are little bit clear about that topic. So we'll go into Google Colab and start building our ATM machine. Okay. So before verifying it, first let me make the overall structure of the machine. So in the end, I will be adding the username and verification purpose and all. Okay. So for now, let me create a username. Okay. So this will be our main directory. I'll set this to ABC, and I'll create a password. So these are the variables. Okay. This is a password and this is the username. Okay. So now I'll set a balance. Okay, this will be the initial balance, so I'll give it as 1000. Clear? So once we have it, what we are going to do is I'll open a conditional statement here. If username is equal to ABC, so I am verifying it, and also I need to verify some other thing, which is the password. Okay. So regarding password, I'll set and verify this. So if both are correct, then I'm going to go into the body of conditional statement. For now, I'll pass it. Okay. Or else, so this is where we'll be using pass. Okay. I want to make a structure. Once I get the structure, I can build later on. Okay. So regarding PPT, I apologize for that. I'll make sure you guys get that PPT. I'm so sorry for that. And for else statement, okay, so here, so if anyone is wrong, what I need to do, I don't want to allow the user to log in, right? I'll just print wrong credentials. Okay. Clear? So this will check whether both are correct. If it is correct, it is going to the body of conditional statement, or else it will print wrong credentials. So these things I'll verify with like I can get it from user input. Okay. So I'll change that afterwards once we complete this progress. So here I want to I can type it here, or I'm going to use a function here. So before this, let me create a code. Okay. So let me create a function here in the name of working. Okay. And in this working, so to create a function, you have to use the def keyword. So def working. Okay. So I can type the body of this. So I'll just make it as pass here. So this will be given here. So all the working will be placed here so that it can be accessed here. Now this working will be passed here. So if both are correct, then I am going to go into this conditional statement where I will be passing this function, where all the process is going to take about this ATM. Okay. Now our work in this part is over. Okay. Now our work is here. So we want to modify this. We have to remove this pass, and we have to set up what all things we are going to use. And do you guys remember, if you want to pass an external thing, okay, for example, if you want to pass a thing which is like user information into a function, then how will you do it? We'll be doing it by passing it as an argument, right? So you are asking for a parameter. So let me ask for a balance. Okay, I'll ask in the name of balance itself. So once I get this, I'll be doing operation with it inside. Okay. So we have to pass this balance here so that it will run properly. Once we ask for a parameter, we have to pass the argument, right? So that's what the purpose of it. So inside this working, okay, I'll create a while loop here, while true. So when this condition is true, I'm going to print to the user. Let me create a multi-line comment. See here below it, let me print select 1. The first option will be balance inquiry. Okay, the second one will be withdrawal amount. The third one will be cash deposit, and fourth one will be cancel. Okay, these are the options. So every time the loop runs, it is going to show this to the user. Okay, so every time it will show this to the user. So next what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the user to select one. So I can choose like choice is equal to, so these are I'm going to get as integer, or you can get it directly. So I'll get it as input select option. So this will get the user input whether it is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So based on it, I can give if choice is equal to 1. Okay, so what if the choice is 1? So here I am asking for a string input. Okay, otherwise I have to convert this into an integer input. If this is fine, this is also fine. So it will be an integer, so it will be 1, 2, 3 or 4. So if he selects 1, what it will be? What option we have to give? So for now I'll pass it now, but please tell me guys, if the user selects 1, which thing we have to do now? And elif the choice is equal to 2, I'll just pass it now. Elif the choice is equal to 3, I'll pass it here. Finally, elif choice is equal to 4. Okay, if he selects 4, which means cancel, I'm going to break the statement. Okay, and here as correct, it is balance inquiry. Okay, the first one will be balance inquiry. So for that we have to create, so I'm planning to create another function. Okay, so let me create some other function in the name of, so we need 3 things. Okay, first one will be the balance inquiry, second one will be withdrawal amount, third one will be cash deposit, and when it reaches 4th, I'm going to break it. Clear? So these are the 4 things, but we need this. Okay, we need the balance inquiry, withdrawal amount, and cash deposit. I'm going to create another function for these things. Define balance inquiry. Okay, so let me create it like inquiry. So in this also, okay, if you want to give the balance, what you need the balance, right? So for this you have to pass a parameter, you have to go ask a parameter balance. Okay, so what is the value, you will be returning that, right? So here what I will be doing is I am going to use this. So if I want to check the balance, I need to just return the value of balance, right? Is it clear till now? Are you guys following it? I'll pass it for now. So we need to create the structure first. See here, I'll show you once again. So we need, the second choice will be withdrawal amount. Withdrawal. Okay, here also we will be getting the balance, and I'll pass it now. Third one will be deposit, right? I'll be getting balance and be using it, and here also I'll pass it now, and these things I'll pass it here. Okay, I need to change these things. So step by step I'm coming. Okay, balance underscore inquiry. So here we will be passing the balance, actual balance, so that it can work on it, and next one will be, second one will be withdrawal, right? So that I am passing, and third one will be deposit. Okay, we have created all these things. So now our work on this is over, right? So is it completed in this working, in this function? Is it completed? Okay, we have to, is it complete? We have to add one thing, which will be the else option. So if the user enters anything other than this 1, 2, 3, 4, I am just going to print, okay, invalid. And then since it is in a while loop, it is going to ask the user show this options, and once again it will show and ask this input. Okay, and one by one it is going to get from the user, and if he is typing something else, I am going to print invalid. So this will be the complete thing of this working. So you have completed this one. Okay, you have to pass this balance here, but we haven't completed about this functions. Okay, this is fine. Now we have to edit these three things. It will be balance inquiry. Okay, so all these things we have to complete. So can we start it? Is it clear till now? Yes. So even here, so I think we can change it. So if the user selects one, it is better. So not to create function unwantedly, I'll remove this. Okay, if the user selects one, I'm just going to return. Okay, it doesn't need any complex function. It is just printing, right? I'll just print. Okay, so using formatted statement, your balance is, I'll pass the balance actually directly here. Okay, so this balance which we will be passing will be passed here as the balance. So it is simple, right? You don't want to create any function for this. So with these two things we will create a function. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please ask me, particularly where I want to repeat. I can tell you once again. First, we have created a username and password and we are verifying it. So later on I'll be asking it from the user, and I'm setting a balance. Okay, I'm setting a balance initially, and I'm creating a function for this. Whatever things going to happen here, I'm creating a function and I need to pass this balance which I will be working on inside. Okay, and if the user enters wrong details, I'm just printing wrong credentials. Once I go into this working, okay, here every time the loop runs, I'm just printing, okay, printing these options, and I'll be asking for the user to select the choice. So whatever he is selecting, I'm going to perform that operation, and if he selects something else, I'm giving invalid. And the user will be selecting either 1, 2, 3 or 4. If it is 1, it is balance inquiry, so I'm just going to print the balance. If it is withdrawal or cash deposit, I have to perform some task here, so which I'll be doing in this functions, and I'm just passing that functions here. So now our work in this is complete. We have to create this function so that it will work properly. So this will be the final step. You have to do all the process here with the help of this balance. So I hope it will be clear. So once the user go into the balance, I'm going to ask the amount from the user. Amount is equal to integer input enter amount. So this is withdrawal, right? So for withdrawal, so the user will be entering some amount. Okay, so the user will be entering some amount. So once he enter the amount, wait a minute, is it clear guys? So can you guys see my screen? Is it clear? Okay, once the user will be entering some amount. So if he entered some amount, I have to check. Okay, first I have to check if there is enough balance in his account, right? So I'll be using this conditional statement if amount is greater than the balance. So if it is that case, so what will be happening? He is like, his balance will be some amount. Okay, and if the amount he is asking is greater than that, so can we allow him to take amount? No, right? So it will be not logically correct. So I'm just going to print insufficient balance. Okay, clear? So what is the thing we are doing here? If the balance amount is less than, or the amount he is asking is greater than the balance, we are not going to allow him to do that operation. Or else, which means the amount he asked is less than his, okay, balance amount, so which actually we can subtract it. Okay, in balance, minus is equal to the amount he asked. So he is withdrawing, right? So his balance will reduce. So once I do it, I'll just print. Okay, using formatted statement, I'll print rupees. So the amount is debited successfully. Okay, so once I done this, the thing is, once this thing is run properly, I have to return the balance finally. Then only I can connect it with other things. Then only the code will work fine. Okay, so the balance amount will be subtracted and finally it will be returned. So once this is done, this is fine. We'll be passing the balance here. So next will be the depositing amount. So he have to deposit the amount. So if you want to deposit, I'm going to ask the user to enter the amount. Okay, amount is equal to integer input. Okay, so I'll type enter amount. So he'll be entering some amount here. So I want to check whether it is positive value or greater than 0. So I'll use if amount he entered is greater than 0. So if that is the case, I'll ask, okay, I'll add it with the balance. Okay, it will be get added here, and finally I'll print. Same format. Okay, so here also, or else I have to type print invalid amount. Okay, so once this is complete, I have to return the balance. So once these all things are done, so I hope it will be fine now. So we'll try to run our code. So it ran this function, you have to run it. So once these things are ready, you can run your code, and it is running fine now. So it is asking for us to select one thing. Okay, I'll go for balance inquiry. So our balance is 1000 now. So next thing will be withdrawal. Okay, I'll go into withdrawal option. So it is asking for the amount. I'll enter 300 here. 300 debited successfully. So I'll check the balance now. Okay, we are getting some error here. We want to change it. So it is not updating. I'll go into cash deposit. Okay, it is telling the amount credited successfully. So I'll check the balance here. So the balance is still same. Okay, so there is a thing error with that. So I can terminate it properly. The balance is not updating. So we'll try to sort it out where the error is. Is my screen visible?
Imagine.
Is it clear now, guys? Am I audible? Is it proper now? Sorry about that issue. It is a little bit technical issue. Okay. So we'll try to start our class now. So we'll start with the concept. It almost half a time gone, so we'll try to go with this exception handling. So once we see all those things, so we can continue with that. Okay, assignment. So we'll start with the exception handling now. So what is exception handling? Okay, exception handling is a mechanism to handle errors that occur during the execution of a program. So for example, I'll tell you, you are creating some application and there is some kind of error which is a logical error which you cannot prevent. So in that case, you can go with this exception handling. So it is a mechanism to handle errors that occur during the execution of a program. And it helps to prevent the program from crashing and provides a way to take corrective action with an error occurs. So what will happen is, if you use this exception handling, your code won't terminate abruptly. Okay, you can use some exception. So when an error occurs, it will go into that exception, so that the code will run properly, smoothly, without showing any error. So that's what the use of this exception handling is. Regarding the exercise, we will continue once we see this topic. Okay. So since it is almost half a time, let's go with this topic and we'll see about that code later on. So see here, I'll tell you an example. You are asking for user input X and Y from the user. Okay, so if you get user input X and Y from the user, you are actually dividing it and give the output. But if you are giving some other number, it will go and give you the output. But in case, if you divide something like any number with 0, what will happen? Will you get any output or error? Tell me guys. When you divide some number with 0, what will happen? You will be getting error. It is not possible. So in that case, this is actually a type of logical error which you cannot prevent. Okay. So to do that, we can use this exception handling in such cases. So I'll show you what will happen in that situations. Okay. So I'll tell you, X is equal to integer input enter X. Okay, yes, correct, 0 division error. Y equal to integer input enter Y. Okay, these things will be entered by the user. So once he enter these details, I'm going to print X divided by Y. So that's what I'm going to do. And if I run this, it is going to ask me the value of X and Y. So if I enter the X value, it is fine. So if I enter it as 0, see here, it is division by 0 error, right? So we will be getting error. So in that case, how are you going to avoid it? In this situation, we will be using this exception handling. So to perform this exception handling, there are 4 methods which you can use, which is like a combination. If you start with this try, it is commonly called as try except. Okay, so if you go for try, you have to specifically use this except. Okay, it is mandatory, you have to use both of this, otherwise you will be getting error. So next will be else statement and finally statement. So these things are optional, so we'll try to use it. I hope it is clear, right? Screen is clear. Am I audible and visible? No issues, right? The first combination will be try and except method. So there is something known as try and except. This is the syntax for it. You can call this try and you can give a colon there, and in the next line you have to leave the spaces there and print whatever thing you want, and then you are having this except also. So what will happen is, if you use this try and except, it will go into the try first. Okay, it will try to do this task. If it is success, it is going to give you the output. In case if you are getting any error like this, like 0 division error or any other error in this try, it will directly go into this except. Okay, if you get any error, then only it will go into except and tell you the output, so that the code will run properly. Okay, the code will run properly and smoothly, and you won't be getting any error there. So that's what the use of this try and except is. So can we try to add this there? So here what I am going to do, this is a critical thing which may get any error. So what I will be doing, I will be creating a try here. Try this. See here, I will be still getting error because I have to create a except. Then only the error will go. If you use try, then except is mandatory. Okay. So use this except. and there I'll just print error occurred. Okay, so now if I run my code, see here, I'll be entering the value of x here. So if I enter something which can give you error, see here, it is going into the except and printing the except statement. Or else, okay, or else if you run this, and if the code runs properly like this, if you can divide it actually, then it is going to give you the output. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys, how this try and except is going? And there is something known as, I told you, right, else and finally. There are two things which any of one you can add it with try. So it is like try except is mandatory, and you can add either else or finally. So there are two options. So you have to give it below like this, okay, else or finally. So there are two things, one will be else and one will be finally. Okay, so we are going to use this actually here and try what is happening there, how it is happening. So that I can teach you directly with that, I'll use this finally here, print, this is finally. Okay, so if I run this, see here, I'm adding a finally statement. I'm entering a value of x and I'm entering a value of y. See here, the code ran successfully. So the try is worked out. We got the output and this finally is printed. Okay, so that's what is happening, right? So finally we got the finally output when we have this try running successfully. So if I go into this and enter some case where the error will occur like 0, if I add the value of y as 0, see here it is printing except and finally also. So from this what you can understand, the finally statement will be executed, either you go to this try or except, finally will be executed finally. That's what the meaning of this finally is. And there is another option which is known as else, right? So I'll tell you what is else here. I'll add else here, else, okay, this is else. I'll run this. So I'm going to enter some value here for x and value for y. No error occurred. Okay, so when it goes through try, it is printing the else statement. Okay, or if I go into, see here, if I divide it with 0, now error is going to occur. If it go through except, it is not printing the else. Okay, so what is the use of this finally and else is, if you add else, only if you got the output correctly, if the try is success, then it is going to print this else statement, or else if any error occurred, it is just going to print the except statement, not the else statement. Okay, but when you go to this finally is like whether you go through the try or except, in both the cases it is going to give you this finally. So it is like this one. Okay, so if you want to print something once if it is completed, then you can go with finally. So only if the success, like if the code runs successfully, then only if you need this output, okay, you can give it in this else, which is like code runs successfully, finally will come everywhere. Okay, so whatever it is, it will come, but else will come only when it is success. Code runs successfully, so if we get any error, it is going to give me the error only. Clear? Try except else and try except finally. Okay, so someone asked, can finally and else come in same code? So can we try to add it? Can I add a finally here below it? So based on your requirement, see here, I'll try to add a correct value. So it is running, so no error coming. Okay, so it is printing the code run successfully, which is else. So else will execute. When will I else execute? Else will execute only when it is like code go through this try, and finally will be executed everywhere. Okay, wherever it is go through the try or except, it will do that. Okay, or if I enter some wrong value, if I go into an error, then in that case the error occurred will come, else won't come because it will come only when this try is coming. Okay, and if it is a except, it is not going to allow this else, but finally will come all the place, right? So it is giving the finally also. Clear, guys? So based on your requirement, these are just concepts. If you want to use it in your code, instead, see here, I'll tell you a use case where you can use this try except. See here, I'm asking for an integer input. Okay, the value of x is an integer input. If I enter a number, it is going to like store it. Since it is an integer input, you are not allowed to enter a string. If you enter a string or a word or a letter, you will be getting error. See here, I am entering some random things. Can you see here? We got an error, right? So in this situation, what you can actually do is, I can give these things. If I give it like this, so it is going to ask me. So if I enter some wrong value, see it is telling, okay, the code is not breaking abruptly. So if I enter some value, it is going to go and perform that operation. In the past assignment also, okay, in the past example, I have asked the user to select either 1, 2 or 3 or 4, right? So in that case, you can use this try except. And since it is in a while loop, it will keep on asking. So if you enter wrongly, it is going to tell me it is wrong and it will ask again. So that's what the use case of this. And else and finally is optional. So based on your requirement, you can give actually. So I hope it will be clear about try except else and finally. Can we move into file handling, guys? Is it clear? Can we start with this? File handling, which will help you to access your text files inside your IDE. So I'll start with this file handling now. Can we go, guys? So file handling in Python. So what it is this file handling? File handling in Python allows you to read and write data, okay, to your files on your computer. So you can directly access your system using this IDE and the key function for working with this, okay. So if you want to go for file handling, you can go with this open, okay. So using this open only, you will be using this file handling, and the open function takes two parameters, which is the file name or like and mode. There are two things. The file name, so if you are using any your system IDE and if you are having it that same file in your same directory, then it will be accessed with the name itself, or if you are having in some other place, then you have to actually give the entire path. So path is something like where it is the file is located, okay. So these things will be done with the help of file handling. You need to use this open option to use the file handling, and the open function takes two parameters, file name and mode. And regarding mode, so what is that mode? Mode is, so the mode, there are 4 different methods for this mode, okay. There are 4 things you can do actually. First one will be reading the file. So if you are having a text file, you can read that. So it is not like specific to a text file. So whatever the file may be, you can access it. But here, since it is a basic thing, we are going to see only about file, text file, okay. You can open any other file with this option. We will be getting a read or append, which will like in your text file, you will be having some text, right? If you use this append option, you can actually add along with those text. Or if you use this W, what it will do is it will write, which means whatever thing present there, it will delete that and it is going to enter that new thing which you enter. And if you want to create a new file, you can use this X. So these are the modes, and we will be handling about the text files, okay, using Python. So if you move to advanced concepts where you will be required to open an image, you can go do that. And in that case, the image will be in the binary format. So along with this R, if you are reading that image, you should give RB, which is read binary. If you are writing it, you have to give write binary. So based on the mode, you have to select it. And here, since it is a text file, I'll show you how to do it. So to create a new file, you have to create a variable, and as I told you earlier, what is the thing we have to use this file handling? It is open, okay. So using open, I'll be giving the name of the file, okay. So this is a creating a new file, right? So whatever name you want, you can give that, but please make sure you are giving the right extension. So if I want to create a text file, it will be in the .txt format. So I'll give new .txt. So the mode will be creating a new file. So if I give X, it is going to create a new file. So once I create that, okay, I'll open again that same thing I am going to write. Okay, using W, I told you right earlier, W will be for writing. So if you go inside and you can write actually a new content. So if you want to write, you have to actually open it. So once you open it, you can call this variable dot write, and if you pass a thing, it will be written there. And once you complete it, it is a good practice to close. Okay, so you can call this file dot close. So we'll try to do this. Let me create a new file in my collab. So before that, let me tell you how to access a file. So let me upload a text file. I'm having a sample file here. It's loading. I'll refresh it. Okay, we got it here. So I'll copy the path here. So this is how to load a file actually. I'll tell you once again. So if you want to use a file, any of your file in this collab, okay, then you want to go right click here and click this upload option, and there select the file. I'll click this sample and I click open. It is going to load. Okay, so once you got that, what you have to do is, if you want to copy the path, you can click this 3 dot and copy the path here. So below that, I'll just create a file. Okay, file is equal to, using open option, so I have to give a new file name. So since it is already available, I can give the path and I'm going to just read it. Okay, R. So this will be the R mode. I'll tell you how to read the file. So this will be the read option. Okay, so to read that, you have to give the mode as R, and you can call the variable name, okay, and use this dot read, okay, to read that file. And see here, this is a variable. I'm storing that contents in a new variable. So let me call this print file dot read. Okay, so if I run this, okay, it is not telling anything. So here I have to add this. Okay, so I have written hello world in my text file. I'll open this sample file. So you can see, here I have this hello world which is loaded there. Okay, so this text file is now here in my collab and it is linked now. Since we are loading it in read binary mode, it is reading that. If you want to store it in anywhere, you can store it in new file also. I create a variable and these contents will be there. Okay, so if you are having multiple lines, then you can read line by line with the help of dot read line. So for every iteration, it is going to give you line by line, which means one by one it will get and give you the output. And finally, once we are done with that, you can actually close it. I'll call this file dot close, since it is linked. Okay, so now let me create a new file. See here, we are having this sample only, right? I'll refresh it. See here, only one file is there. Let me create a new .txt. Okay, so let me create file is equal to open. And can you guys tell me what is the option we have to use? What is the mode to create a new file? New.txt. What is the thing I have to give? What is the mode to create a new file? Can you guys tell? So it is X, right? So if I give X, it is going to create a new file. So once I created it, okay, I'm going to write something there. So we'll try to check whether it is working or not. Okay, see here, I have given the name new.txt. If I go here into the files and if I refresh it, see here, we got this new.txt. Okay, it will be empty because we have created it just now. So if it is sample files, here we got this hello world. Okay, so we have created a new file, and if you want this file in your system, you can click this 3 dots and click this download. So you can take that, or else if you are using any other system IDE, then actually in that directory a file will be created. So no issue in that. So let me open the file and write now. Okay, so I told you, right, to write we have to use this W, file dot open. File is equal to open. Okay, new.txt. So let me give the entire path so that no error will occur. So I have to give another thing, right? What is that? It is the mode I am going to use here. So what it will be, I am going to write it newly. Since it is a new file, I'll use W, so to actually write something new. Okay, so once I done this, okay, I am opening it in the write mode. So now I can edit these things. Clear? So I'll call file.write. This is new content added. Okay, so once I done this, I'll call this file.close. I'm going to run this now. So it ran successfully. Now we have to check, okay, whether our file is written or not. So now I have to open it in the read mode. Okay, I'll copy all these things. I'll paste it here. Let me open it in the read binary mode. Okay, I'll call this file.read. I'll close this. So since we just need to print this, right? Then only we can see that what is happening there, what is stored there. See here, this is new added content. So whatever things I have written there is updated here. This thing is wrote there. Okay, W will rewrite. So if you actually change this thing, second new, if I run this again, it is going to open. Since W is completely rewriting, it is going to clear whatever present there and it is going to rewrite that thing. So if I run this and check what is present there, see here only this thing is present there. Or else if I want to append something, so what is the mode for appending? Do you guys remember? Okay, if you want to append something, you can use this A option, right? So if you want to append is something like it will get added with already things which is present there. So what I can do, I can go and change this W to A. I can use this write option only, but it will be added. Okay, this is appended new. So if I run this, I'll show you, I'll read the content once again. See here, already something is present there and this thing got updated here. Clear? If I use W, it is going to clear the entire thing and write a new one. So X is something like creating a new file. Okay, if you want to create a new file, you can call this X option. Is it okay? So R is for writing. So R is for reading the file. You want just going to read that. A is for appending, which means it will be adding with already existing thing. If you go for, okay, if you go for W, it is going to entirely clear these things, whichever things present there, it is going to clear that. Okay, and write the new content. That's what this is. And if you want to see this, you can actually download it. I'll download this file. Okay, so it is asking for the location. See here, the contents are written here, right? So this is how you can use this file handling in Python. It's very easy. All the thing, like commonly you will be using this open, and if you are going to write, you will be using .write, or if you are going to read, you will be using .read. And commonly this mode, 4 modes are there, which you can select based on your requirement. Okay, is it clear, guys? And finally, I'll tell you how to delete a file. So in this situation, we are going to see something known as import. So this will be a continuation part for next class. Okay, so we will be seeing about this import option. So what it is there, what we are going to use. So there is something known as packages, modules, libraries. Okay, these things are there, which we'll be seeing in later classes. And this will be a simple example. There is something known as OS. Importing is like taking something else. Okay, there are some additional options. I'll tell you in basic simple terms. We'll be having some additional options for Python. If you want to use that, you have to use this import option. So with import, you can actually take that and use it in your file. Okay, so if you want to import this OS, I can import that, and OS dot, I can use the options present there. Using this OS, it is like designed to directly connect with your system. Okay, so using this OS, I can call .remove, os.remove. So if I pass the file name, it is going to delete that file actually. Okay, if you do it in the system, please be careful, because if you give some other file, it will actually delete that file. Please make sure. If I want to use OS, I have to use this import option. Regarding this import option, we will be seeing it in later classes regarding modules and libraries. import OS, I can run this, okay, and once if I want to use it, os.remove, and I have to pass the name of this file. So if I want to remove this sample file, let me copy the path here and I'll paste it here. So is it clear? So if I run this file, it is going to delete that file. See here, if I refresh it, that file actually gone, right? Clear? Is it clear, guys? If I want to remove this new file also, I can take that also, it will be deleted. So these will be the file handling. So you can actually add or write, create a new file and delete your file with the help of Python. So that's it for today's class, guys. Thank you for attending. So regarding the exercise code, please make sure you guys try on your own regarding the ATM code, okay. So we have seen about functions, right? So I also given some glimpse, but it is didn't completed it, okay. So regarding the ATM code, you guys please try to do, and in next class, okay, so in next class I'll explain you. If you guys try, please make sure you got the code, and if you got it success, tomorrow paste it in chat box, we can discuss about that. And I have planned to do another exercise also regarding this functions, okay, using functions, creating a calculator. This is additional. If you guys done your assignment, these are additional things which you can do to improve your function skills, okay. Please try to do this ATM code and calculator using functions in Python. So if you want to install OpenCV in Anaconda Navigator, you can go into the environments. If you go in the home page, so this is for some person who asked how to install this OpenCV in Anaconda Navigator. Once you go into your Anaconda Navigator, in the left side I think you can find your environments, and in that once you go inside, you can open the terminal, and in that use the pip command, pip install OpenCV -python. So please make sure you are typing the exact name, then only your package will be installed. And if you want to use that, you can use this import cv2. It won't be available in OpenCV in that name. If you want to use that, you can use import cv2. Clear for you? So regarding the assignment, like my team is like trying to accept you, so please join that, okay. So ATM code is not an assignment, it is just an exercise for you. The assignment will be, which I have given in yesterday and before yesterday class, I have shown you how to do it, what all things there. So please try to submit it by today in LinkedIn or Facebook. So tomorrow you have to update it in a form, okay. You have to update the link in a form. So please make sure you are submitting it, it is mandatory. Is it clear, guys? Thank you guys, thank you so much. We'll see you in tomorrow's class, and sorry for the thing which technical issue happened today.